What's up, YouTube? Yes, we are back. We are going to do the same thing we did yesterday. As you can see on my coin count, we have 20 million. We back to 20 million. Yes, we are. And I still have all of my investments with Reggie Bush and Taylor Mays. We are sitting pretty right now. As you can see, I went ahead and I bought a bunch of training. We have not sold all of my Laramie Tunzels yet, but that's okay. We have 238,000. Yes, yes, and yes. All right. We're going to do the same thing we did yesterday, but we're going to do it in flashbacks. Now, let's just make sure we do a little bit of a recap. If you were here yesterday, you saw me do two different types of rolls. The first roll I did was, what did I do? Well, I honestly don't even remember. I don't even remember. But anyways, you saw in the second one I did heavyweights. I did 54 rolls of heavyweights, and I got 3189s, right? So I'm going to just do the math quick on that one. Let's check and see what the percentages are of that. That is a 57% rate of getting 89s. Now, we know 89s are L's, right? And so let's back up a step here, because I think some people don't understand why I do what I do, or why, how to kind of anticipate what you do. No, I did buy the training at 5.2 again. It did take me about 30 minutes to get this much training. This isn't even the amount of training I wanted. I wanted a little bit more, but we're going to go to 89. Now, we know every 89, no matter what we roll, is going to be an L at this point, right? That's just how it goes. But let's just go take a look at flashbacks right here. You can see 19,000, 20,000. I mean, this is pretty much the same numbers as yesterday, right? And this is what helps me kind of determine what roll I want to do. I know all 89s are L's, right? That's just how it's going to be. That's okay. But let's take a look at the 90s. Let's take a peek at the 90s right here. In flashback, see, 39,000 or 40,000. So if we get the training at 5.2, we're going to times that amount of training that amount of coin per training value. We're going to times that by 6,000 to do the roll. It's going to be 31,200, right? Now we're going to times that by 1.1 for auction house. Cut, so we're up to 34,000. So we know every time we roll a 90, every time we get a CJ Mosley, that's like a 5K profit. Tom Brady's going to be like a 10K profit. Amos is going to be about a 7 to 8K profit. We know Le'Veon Bell is going to be about a 14 to 15K profit. And that's kind of how we go, right? Alex Mack's going to be a little bit more than that. That's kind of how you do, what you can kind of determine there. And then if you look at the 94s, Jason Pierre-Paul, this is basically pretty darn close to auction house value if you were to sell this card. Or not auction house value, but training value. So, that's not okay. But Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, again, it's pretty, a little bit above training value. Michael Pierce is a huge plus. I mean, that's a W. And Justin Coleman's a huge W. Blake Martinez, Dwayne Brown, they're huge W's. As you can see, there's just a lot of huge W's right here. Okay. Now, let's take a look at heavyweights. Okay, this is why I determined this. Now, these cards were a lot more expensive yesterday, these 94s. They did go down quickly. The 95s, though, were a lot more expensive yesterday. You could see these guys have plummeted a little bit. And so all that determines whether or not I want to make the roll or not. Because as you can see right here, you're looking at a lot of these guys, 5K profit, 5K profit, 6K profit. You can see that these guys went down, 6K profit. So even though there's still profit, which is good, they're not like they were. They're not like they were. And like I said, we already determined all 89s are going to be not profit, right? So the only other roll there is, you can't do veterans. Veterans prices are just bad. You could look at Rising Stars. Again, 89s, they are what they are, right? Derwin James is good, though, however. Derwin James is okay, but it's still a loss. But it's not a major loss, right? And so you go here. Again, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that are 5 to 6K profit. I mean, they're just not major profit. But there is Clyde Edwards. Looks like Clyde Edwards is a major profit, right? He's a double the profit, so that's always good. But this is kind of why I go and do the rolls that I do. I'm looking at all the general numbers, And most of the time I'm not looking at the big numbers like this. I'm looking at the small numbers because, yeah, like these guys right here, this is training. If you were to sell these guys, it wouldn't be worth it. It'd be worth keeping them, right? Quinn Williams looks good. You know, Sebastian guy looks, nope. That's a big difference. Darnell Savage obviously is good, but that's kind of how I determine what role I'm going to do and what role I'm not going to do. But you know what? I mean, if you understood what I just said there, awesome. If you didn't, I apologize. But we're going to check and see. We got 240,000 training. We're going to divide that by 6,000. And we are going to see. We are going to do 40 rolls. Now, we know yesterday we were at about a 50% for 89s. So hopefully we don't get that high again. If we get that high, we're looking at, what is it? What's 50%? Let's see. 40 divided by or times by 57. So we're looking at about 22 to 23 89s. Let's hope that we don't pull that. But if we do, we're just trying to get, I'm trying to get my own kind of calculator going on with what the averages of pulling the lowest one is. I mean, 57% on the heavyweights to pull an 89, which are L's. That's a 57% chance to pull an L. We don't want that. We just clearly don't want that. But you know what? Let's take a peek at the flashbacks. We're going to do 40 rolls. If we pull 20 to 22 of those, you know, hopefully that still ends up being a positive. There's obviously that's an L and so on. But that's kind of what we're looking at here with this roll. Now, are we going to be able to profit 600K like we did yesterday? Probably not. But if we could profit at anything, I'll be happy with it. So I'm just going to fast forward it here right after this roll, and I'll let you see just the big pulls here in a second. All right, guys, we have finished the roll. I have 41 cards that are flashbacks. Now, one of them does not count. I had Marcus Peters. I powered him down and so on. I just haven't sold the card. So we got a total of 24 89s. Now, we know 24s are going to sell for roughly, or we know, we know 89s are going to sell for roughly 20,000 gold. So 24 times 20,000 equals 480,000 coins. That's what we have in those cards. Let's take a peek here. Let's get our 90s set up. We got one Alex Mack, it looks like. We know he's going to go for 52, so we're going to plus it by 52,000. We only got one. Yes, sir. CJ Mosley. Let's take a peek at him. 47, so we'll go 45,000 for him. We know we got two. We got four. So we're going to put that 180,000 for them. And we got Le'Veon Bell. I'm just doing the math here real quick. That's another 45K. I think, did we only get one Le'Veon Bell? It looks like we only got one Le'Veon Bell. We got Adrian Amos. We got two of him. Looks like 40K. Which is a little bit surprising. We got Thomas Brady. We got three of him. Looks like 40K, so we'll put 120K for him. And then we got 494s and 195. That's it. So we got 5 cards that are 94.95 out of the 40 roll. That is a 13%, it's a 12.5%. I call it 13, but we're going to put him up. We'll say 190. And then Brian Bulaga. We got 135, so we're going to times that by 2 to get 270. And then Yannick, 125. Now, I wouldn't necessarily, actually, I'd still sell that. That's fine. As long as it doesn't get below 105, we're good. So, like, this card's pretty close. So we'll put a 112. And that's what we get for a total. So we got 1.65 million. Then we're going to times that by 0.9. after the auction house cut. We're looking at 1.488, so we're close to 1.5. Now we know we spent we bought the training at 5.2, and we know we bought 240,000 coins or 240,000 trainings. So let's check and see how much that is worth. That's worth 1.248 million. So on this roll, we just profited 240,000. Yep, 240,000 coins is what we profited on that roll. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to sell that. I'm going to restock with training. I might come back and do some Rising Stars later, but I'll tell you what. I'm starting my own little thing. I'm writing down how many rolls I'm doing, what the 89s are, and the 94, 95. So like on the heavyweight, it's 12.9% chance that I'm going to get a 94 or 95. On the flashback, we're looking at 12.5%. And so on and so forth. But it looks like it's much higher. But I think it's we're 57% for 89s on the other one, 60% on flashbacks. And I'm assuming that's because you're going to get an increase since there's no 91s. I'm pretty sure that's why. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But hey, that's the video. I just profited another 240,000 coins, guys. Yeah. We'll see you later.